Hi there, friend. Here's a wild truth. We're not bad at budgeting. We're just terrible at defending ourselves from clever food marketing. That $6 granola, that wasn't a choice. That was a trap. Let me show you how I use Google Sheets to escape it. Hi, I'm Zhenya, an ex-Guardian information designer. I have a PhD in complex systems, and I'm a project manager. It's a wild mix, and I'm also a kind of person who tracks everything in systematic way, be it house repair, fridge inventory, and yes, grocery shopping in spreadsheets, in this case. As a freelancer, I need structure without rigidity, and food shopping used to be chaos, overspending, random health kicks, decision fatigue, until I built this system, which I want to show you. By the end of this video, you have an understanding of how shopping in systematic way works. However, I need to mention that there's a lot of videos about grocery shopping lists, etc. And also there's a lot of videos that educate you about Google Sheets. However, my mission is not to try to educate you about these things. I record my journey through Google Sheets as I learn them, and what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to shape your thinking about systematic approach to things, yeah? And I just use Google Sheets because it's the most appropriate instrument to doing this. Without further ado, let's talk about 3 things about grocery shopping, yeah? First, identify the appropriate vendors. Second, figure out the quantities of what you want to buy. And third, and the most important part, is compare like for like, so that you know how much things cost and how much you're paying for them. Essentially, this is like the 3 keystones for the systematic approach to things here. All right. Part 1. Or like think 1. Sorry, I don't have a video editor yet. And if you are a video editor, please get in touch. And if you want to help me with creating those videos, I'll be greatly appreciated. But for now, we just have to make do with this technology. Alright, so first and foremost, you need to begin by identifying appropriate vendors and shortlisting them. And here I'm using ChatGPT, and actually there's a use case, because when I travel, I buy things, and now I'm in Colombia, and I had to buy a lot of things in bulk, to feed myself, and it's kind of difficult to figure out in a strange country, in a strange language. So basically what I did is I started from ChatGPT, and I asked it this, yeah. So short list wholesalers of nuts and seeds. Shortlist the wholesalers of nuts and seeds and other staples in Bogota, Colombia. What it does, it creates starting table of shops, which you can then go on and search online. For example, pepitas al natural, and you go there, and then you find the shop, yeah, which looks good. And here we need to keep keep in mind that there's like 3 types of vendors that I found. Yeah, one vendor that is expensive and usually sells in very small quantities, and you don't need that. The second one is a wholesalers for general audience. This is what you're looking for. Basically, you come to the website, you see the search box, you can find things, you can buy like a kilogram of items. You can grab the items, you can place them in the cart, and you can order. So that's the ideal scenario. And then the third scenario is there are wholesalers who are not directed at general audiences, which means you come to the website and there's like either nothing and just some listings, or maybe you find stuff but it's just the minimum of 25 kilograms or something like that, which you also don't want. Yeah, so let me demonstrate. So for example, this searches were my searches. So yeah, for example, I look for lenteja rosada comprar en línea Bogota, which means buy red lentils online in Bogota. Yeah, it gives me the list of things also. So you can complement. You can start from ChatGPT, but you can also look for items like that, and it gives you also the shops. And for example, you find a shop like this, Vita Integral, which has little packages, small healthy things, and when you click on them, you actually see that it's 60 grams or something like that. And that's what you don't want. It's like it's a small retailer, and it's basically like a corner shop, and you don't want that because it's probably going to be cheaper in buying in a corner shop. Then there is a big shop. For example, this one, yeah, Las Delicias. You come to the website and you see a picture there's no search box, you're not able to find anything. If you go to products, I don't know Spanish also, but I can guess, probably. Like there are things, but when you click on them, there's no clear way of ordering them, there's no shopping cart, etc. So, and I'm guessing this is because maybe it's just me, but this type of, I saw this before, they just don't sell to people like you, yeah, like sell more, maybe they give big contracts with restaurants or something like that. And then you get shops like this, for example, and I'm not affiliated with any of those shops, I was just looking, so either this or Pepitos might also be good. This one where you have a search box and then you can look for things like nuez, which is a nut. Yeah, if you want to buy nuts, you find there's a selection. You can choose to buy a kilogram or like however much you want, and this is what you want because they make it easier for you to do this. Yeah, and then you can create a shopping cart and you can place things. So that's the first thing here. So how to identify the vendors. And one good thing here, let me tell you, yes, one important thing also here is that you need to check also with offline shops in the street, especially if you're traveling somewhere and you don't know the prices. Because sometimes, but also I live in England and sometimes I go to the local shop and I see that the price for the bulgur wheat, for example, is much better in the local shop than anything that I find online. So sounds counterintuitive, but it's often the case. So it's always best to check offline. All right, yeah. Systematic approach is really good for shopping. However, it's also really good for many other things. You can check those things in other videos on my channel. I'm going to link to them. There is explanation. For example, this is a vendor matrix video, and this is the video of how to convert currencies, etc. And if you like this kind of content, please hit like and subscribe. And yeah, so that other people can also find it. And this is all for the part 1, identify the appropriate vendors. Now to the part 2, figure out the quantities of how much of each thing or which thing you want to buy. And here it's usually really helpful to stick to a grocery list. And again, I direct you to a lot of other videos on YouTube where you can find a lot of information about grocery lists. Again, I'm talking about the creating of a system now, so it's more like mental stuff rather than trying to get you specific advice about that. However, what I found good is this guideline for from nutritionfacts.org. Essentially, what it is, it's called Daily Dozen, and it's an app. Let me show you. I have this really makeshift way of showing my mobile phone. Yeah, I apologize for this. When I have a video editor, I will have like a proper thing. So essentially, what it has, it lists the things that you need to eat every day, and what's good about it is you can click on each thing, and it shows you the quantity of each thing. This is by no means, I'm not a good judge of whether it's there's a lot of science behind it apparently. So I just use this, but there's maybe other apps that you can also use. It's good because it tells me what and tells me the quantity. So what I can do from here, and knowing me, you can probably imagine, I go to, again, ChatGPT, and there is a online grocery order calculator project that I have here, yeah? And if you look at the instructions, essentially what it says is that it takes number of months as an input, and it takes a CSV table of monthly consumption from all items, which I take from that app, essentially. And it gives me the table of like how much of what I need to buy. That's the thing. Yeah, and that, if you noticed in this app, it's not really definitive list here. So it is just like a category of fruit, for example, and then you go all like, maybe fruit is not a good example. Whole grains is a good example. So it tells you you need to eat this quantity of whole grains, but then also it gives you the list of everything which qualifies as that. So you can buy any of those things, whichever you like, and it's not really prescriptive. It's quite flexible, so you can mix and match different things as soon as you comply to those quantities. And I also attach here the table to ChatGPT, which is the table from my shopping groceries monthly consumption. So I have this table that tells me, and also it includes not only things that you eat, but also all the spices and everything. Like, for example, you need to have this amount of green tea per month because it detoxifies, like things like that. It's like scientific thing. You're like, oh, you need to have this amount of turmeric every month because it's good for your DNA or something like that. So there's a lot of stuff like that, nutritional yeast. And what ChatGPT does, it grabs this table and then it takes from you how many months you need it for, and then it creates you the list. And this list, let's actually check if it works. Give me the results for 2 months. It should give you the quantities, as a table, ideally. And while it's analyzing, I can show you this replenish list. And also I'm gonna do another video about, this is a concept of wish farm or replenish list, which means that you don't buy things, but instead of buying things, you put them on a list. And then you look at this list. So in my case, I have all these things that I put on my list. Yeah, and you can see the ChatGPT actually came up with this list. So it gives me the quantity in grams. And this is again the rule of comparing like for like, yeah? So you always get everything in grams so that you have everything in one table, nice and easy, like that. And then you copy it here, and then there's a column for quantity in grams. And yeah, don't worry about copying this table. I'm going to put it in the downloads section of my website, which I'll link down in the description, and then you can just copy the spreadsheet from there. It's free. Quantity, title, ordered. This is some checks columns, and stocked. So essentially check column I don't need anymore. What I do need is stock column and ordered column. Yeah, so if I don't have the items in stock, I put them, I look for them, essentially. And this is all that you need to know for now about this replenish list, I think, because there's a few more nuance about it, but I'm gonna create another video about wish farming and replenish lists. Alrighty, so now I know what I need, and I know the grams, and because it's all in Spanish, I also created this column for Spanish translation, which you can also ask ChatGPT. You can just copy everything and ask it to create a list in Spanish, because sometimes it's actually useful if you, for example, where's nutritional yeast? Nutritional yeast is levadura nutricional, yeah? And you can go to web search, and that's how you sometimes find shops, yeah? Levadura nutricional, comprar en línea bogotá, which means buy online nutritional yeast, yeah? And this is quite useful because sometimes if you put a query like this, you can find really specific shops who sell that, which means there's more chance that they will sell also all other things that you want. And this way I can find some really nice shops actually that sell kind of not non-mainstream shops that you can find good deals with. And that's about replenish list and groceries monthly consumption. Yes. And finally, to the last and the meatiest part of the video, which is the main shopping, yeah, part 3, the final part. Sorry, I don't have a video editor, so I have to do this. This is the title of the third part. The main sheet where I put things in. So essentially, I look for things in the shop. For example, here I found the thing, I found the price, I found the link, and then I go back to my spreadsheet and I fill it out. So I put in the title, I put in so this is a link. Links are quite important. You need to keep the link together with the item because you need to be able to go back to it later on. You put the local price, you put how many kilograms in the pack, you put the quantity, how many you're purchasing, and it's all getting converted through this currency conversion tool that I explain in more detail in this video right here. And this is quite an important tool, and it's really nice for things like that. A note about delivery. Sometimes delivery can be quite expensive, so this is why I put delivery price. I have a column for delivery price, and then if you purchase, like for example, the price of delivery is fixed, but then you can also purchase many things from the same shop. So that's why I put delivery price into that column, and then I also put the number of items I purchased from that shop in the other column, so that the price of delivery kind of spread out between those items, if that makes sense. And once you entered this, so title, local price, kilograms per pack, and it's all kilograms because you need to compare like for like. This is like the golden rule. So that's why it's always in kilograms. Even if it's like a quarter of the kilogram, I still put 0.5 or 0.13, for example, if it's like spices. And then quantity delivery. In this case, I wasn't worried about delivery too much because if you order a lot, then usually it's free. And then it converts. And here, and I'm going to put the template for that. You don't have to worry about it at the moment. I'm going to put it, you can copy it, and you can try to figure your way through it. And essentially, this part of the screen is all the local prices, and the other part of the screen is all the prices in British pounds, because that's my kind of mental home currency. However, the main thing about all of this is that I need to be able to create this number, which is a distillation of all this information, which is the number of the price for a kilogram in my home currency, including all of the delivery. And this is the actual thing that allows me to compare things like for like. Yeah. Another thing, what I do here, and this is there's a lot of going to go through, but I'll try to keep it brief. But you can obviously ask questions in the description if you have any more suggestions or questions about it. Here I have shop and category, and I have drop down for all the shops, and I have the category. So because that kind of allows me to filter things and allows me to remember which shop it comes from. and I create the drop downs by this really quick and nifty method that is explained in my other video right there. Go there and watch it, because that's also quite an important thing that I use in pretty much all of my spreadsheets. And what it essentially does is that it collects all your variables in the data tab, which is a separate tab of your spreadsheet. Yeah. And once you have all your variables there, you can create a drop-down using the data validation tool, and it's all explained in that other video. It's nothing fancy actually. And yes, so I categorize, I put the shop in, and then I also have this checkbox for shortlist. Sometimes if I like something, I put shortlist, which means that I'm either buying from it or I've purchased. That was my last purchase, right? And then you go back to your replenish list, and then you tick all the boxes for ordered. That kind of makes it easier to keep track of things if you're ordering like a lot of things at the same time, which kind of makes sense because it makes it like at least you save on delivery anyways. And that's all. And after that, you click on purchase and you purchase your items. So just to conclude, keep in mind those three things here. Identify the appropriate vendors, figure out the quantities of what you want to buy, and don't forget to compare like for like. So always the same currency for the same quantities of items. That's kind of the main thing. And I think that's pretty much it. And this method also really, like, once you have this kind of mindset about it, it actually works really well also for if you work in project management, because I work in project management, so for me it kind of works that way. So I often need to compare vendors, and I need to be able to compare like for like. So that kind of style of thinking actually really helpful. So for more details on vendor matrices, like a more detailed explanation, there's another video here. And for all the downloads and templates of everything I'm talking about, please head over to my free download section of my website, which description is down below. And don't forget to join our Discord community. And yeah, subscribe, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next one. Cheers.